Hello everybody, in this video I'm going to be explaining the very basics of interactions in Minecraft. And before I begin, I would like to apologize for the constant droning of my air conditioner in the background. It's simply a very warm day today and I cannot afford to turn it off. So, let's begin. An interaction is something that allows you to... well, it's just a hitbox, really. So I can't hit through it, of course. Can't hit through monsters or mobs, players. I can't place blocks. I'm right-clicking right now. Nothing is happening. So it blocks inputs, and being a hitbox, it's got a couple special properties that I'd like to talk about, and it's NBT data. So we'll say data get entity, or entity here. Now we have a couple interesting things here. First off is response, which I will talk about here in just a moment. We have attack, and the time at which it was attacked, and the interaction, and the time at which it had an interaction. Now these four numbers here, excuse me, are my UUID. It's the four integers that designate my Minecraft account, basically, is what they are. And we've got the same numbers here because I was the only person to ever have attacked or interacted with it. Now, to extract this data, what we're going to want to do is we want this response to be true, so we can say data modify entity, this entity, response set value 1b. Now that has set it true, which means we can now extract the data from it, and if we punch it now, we can now hear the punching sound. Nothing happens if we right click it, nothing happens if you right click an entity generally, so that's cool. But to actually truly gather data from this, we need some command blocks. So for our basic, very basic setup here, we'll have this, which we'll set to always on later, and this, which will be conditional. So repeating, and then next to it a chain command block that is set to conditional. What we'll do now is we're going to, well, first we're actually going to add a tag to it. Tag on our entity, add test 0, just so we can differentiate this one from ones that we may use in the future. We're going to say execute as at e tag equals test 0, which is just this particular one, but that's alright. I'm going to say on attacker. Now I'll get to what this means here in a moment. We're just going to type it down for now. At s, let's say run TP, just one block up. Now in this block, I'm going to say execute as at e tag equals test 0 yet again, run data remove entity at s response, attack. Now teleported me up one block. That is because my interaction with it from when I punched it all those times earlier was saved, and this command chain executed. Now whenever I punch it, it will teleport me up one block from wherever I am. It's very cool. Now, let's run through this command. So execute as at e tag equals test will select every entity that has that tag test 0 that we just added. On attacker, this can mean a number of different things depending on the entity that you're referring to. In our particular case, it is referring to the person who last left-clicked the interaction here. At s, we are now executing this command as the attacker, which is me, So we're executing at this command at where I am, and we're executing the command teleport the current entity up by 1 block. So basically what we're saying is take the last person who left-clicked this interaction and teleport them up 1 block. Now, excuse me, this block is very important, because if it were not here, then you should remember that whenever I first turned this to always active, I teleported up 1 block even though I had not hit it. That's because my interaction with this block was saved. So if we don't remove it manually, it will persist, and this command block will keep executing every tick, and we will just keep teleporting up and up and up, which is not good. So this removes that. So after I punch it, the command, or the interaction forgets that I punched it, so it does not continue to teleport me upwards. Now, let's say whenever I left click it, I want to get teleported up 1 block, which is what is happening now, but whenever I right click it, I should be teleported up 5 blocks. So the way we do that is very similar, so similar in fact that I'm just going to copy these blocks with all of their command still in it. Conditional. There we go. And we're going to change this to interaction, I believe. I should double check just to make sure I don't accidentally get myself stuck in a loop here. Data get entity. Yes, it is interaction. And then we will change attacker here to target. And we should change it to 5 blocks. So now, we left click it, we get teleported up 1 block. We right click it, we get teleported up 5 blocks. Now, I'll talk about the changes I've just made. The only change I made here is obviously I changed it from 1 block to 5 blocks. A very, very simple command there. And I changed attacker to target. So basically, attacker, if I execute on attacker, it will execute on the person who last left-clicked it, but if I execute on target, it will execute on the person who last right-clicked it, which is obviously what we want. And then up here, I changed this from attack to interaction, because attack stores the player who last left-clicked it, and interaction stores the last player, or the player who last right-clicked it. So that's very good then. We have this working. But say I want to do something else. We'll get rid of that. We're gonna leave this here for a moment. There's a thing we can do. So we can continue to spawn an interaction on the player's head, so that no matter what they do, they will always be interacting with it. So, let me... the way we'll do that is... the repeating command block. Probably clear these. Okay, these are both empty. So we're going to say, execute as @e tag equals test 0 run kill @s. Now the reason we're doing this first is because, as you should know, command block chains execute sequentially, all in the same tick, but with their order determined by the order in which they are placed. So if I put an interaction on the player's head first and then remove it after that, but on the same tick, then nothing will have happened. You won't even be able to see it. So we first have to remove them and then do a new one so that that interaction persists for the current tick. So now we'll do a command block chain. This should be unconditional. Otherwise, it would depend on this happening, which it won't happen unless this is already run, which means it would never run. So by putting this chain block on this repeating block, while the chain is not conditional, it still runs sequentially. This will still always run after this, but excuse me, the result of this yes, the result of this has no correlation or relation to the start of this. Now, you don't have to these don't have to be conditional. You could have them unconditional, but that's executing unnecessary commands, which we have no reason to do, so we're not. So we're going to say execute as at a at s, because we want it to happen at the current player. Anchored at eyes. I'm going to say run summon interaction. Just a little bit below where the player's head is. And of course we'll give it the tag test 0 because it needs to have that tag. Now can't see it because if we pause this here, if we say tick freeze, see it's spawning right there. So we'll remove this and change these to carrots. I don't know what they're actually called. Now this will make it spawn at our on our head. So now, no matter what we do, whenever we right or left click on anything, it won't let us interact with anything. These command blocks over here execute. Now, if you've accidentally gotten yourself stuck in a loop like this, it's very easy to get out of. Simply write tick freeze, and this will be stuck here. If you punch it or right click on it while the tick is frozen and you unfreeze it, your command will still execute when the game is unfrozen. But during this time, whenever the game is frozen, you can destroy your command block chain to spawn at your head. Now you can do a couple very interesting things with this. You can a thing you can do is, if I freeze this tick, you can say execute as at a selected, or we need to get some npt equals selected item ID Minecraft stick tick unfreeze. Now, only when I'm holding a stick will this interaction spawn. That's always a fun thing you can do. Too, if a player is holding a specific item, you can give them this interaction. Again, if I were to turn these off, I'm holding this, I now can no longer interact with anything. And if I were to turn off, if I were to say game rule, send command, feedback, false, I turned off hitboxes for the while I'm holding a stick, I can do all this normally. While I'm holding a stick, I all of a sudden simply lose the ability to interact with the world. So you can do a couple of very interesting things with this. So, that's really all I have to say. I hope you enjoyed the video. And goodbye. I will hopefully see you in the next one.